All right, so good evening to everyone. I want to thank you for all joining this evening as we take a deep dive into understanding data in order to be able to understand your client avatar. It's very important as we are talking about understanding who we're talking to, utilizing the data that's in front of us in order to help strengthen, overall business. You come to the class because data is at our fingertips. Social media now more than ever is using data and data analytics to help promote and push what it is that we're offering. So it's my hope that the skills and tools that we use today will help better and leverage your business into doing more things than before. A little bit about me, as I said before, my name is Dr. Hill. I am an educator by trade. I've been in education now for over it's going on like 14 years now. So it's a amazing journey. Mostly I focus on shooting real estate and realtor content. That is my niche. Uh, and it's a little bit about myself. So as we're sitting here and talking this evening, a lot of stuff will be geared towards you, but the recording will go to anybody, right? So how do you use data on your regular basis to help further your business currently? Do you want to share, Janika, how to use data to further your business currently?
Oh, you're talking about.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so what do you mean actually though
So using
by
data. So
using
a lot of people. Well, I'll get into it, and if there's no answer first, that's fine. I can go directly into the page, right? So, understanding and being able to use data is very important within the journey, right? And there are three ways that we can leverage and utilize data to help further our mission. And the three ways that I want to talk about this evening, one are social media polls, right? So now
oh,
within social media, you have the ability to do polls on your stories and actually within the embedded posts. So by using data, you can collect some critical information so you know what kind of content that you can put out on a regular basis. So think of it like this: if you're doing a post around first-time home buyers, one of your poll questions may be, how many people like when are you looking to make a purchase? 0 to 3, 4 to 6, 9 to 12, 1 year or more. And then having that data will then let you know what kind of pathway you can either put some of your followers on or people within your email sphere or whatever it may be. So it's very important, by able to utilize data. And then you can use it on your stories. And the beauty of the stories is when you have people engaging your stories, not only does that engage your platform, a lot longer, but it won't mess up your feed as well, too. And you have a different kind of format. You can do this or that. You can do polling questions from a percentage standpoint. You can do a true or false to find ways to engage people. So that's important. CRM data. So a lot of people, once you close a transaction, there are many realtors who do never re-engage with their clients ever again. And I think it's important that as you're building out your content, you're using that data or the polling questions in order to help further your mission. And what does that mean, right? So taking a look at everything that you close, whether it be rentals, whether it be sales, whether it be, anything related to your transaction or even new clients, and then take a index of where they fall into certain categories. And in a later slide, you'll see what the categories are, right? And then once you place people in the different categories and get the demographic data, you'll know what kind of stuff and who your client avatar really is. And then you'll know what kind of content that you want to put out there as well, too. And then you can look to reconnect with people, ask them some identifying questions, like what, and then I have another slide with some identifying questions there as well. But using that CRM data is very important. And that's another way that realtors can leverage their overall content as well. And then social media analytics. So whether it be Google Analytics, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, whatever it may be, utilizing analytics is very helpful to help furthering your mission forward as well. So what does that look like? So here's a snapshot of my social media demographic analytics, right? And I just took that today. So on the far left, you're looking at Facebook and Instagram, and there are some key indicators that let me know that everything is in line, right? So the first thing is where it talks about the client avatars from an age and gender standpoint. So I'm predominantly geared towards women, more so in the Facebook and Instagram. So a lot of my content is going to be things that are aesthetically pleasing to women. Not saying that men don't purchase from me. I mean, I have male headshots and things of that nature in the realtors, but women are over dominating based on my client base. So with that being said, I know that things have to speak to them. It has to be bright. It has to be airy. You know, as people want the retouches, they want to know. You know, your messaging has to be softer, more persuasive. You know, and all those things that you guys all have naturally have to be a little bit more intentional on. And then cities, you know, the cities in which the content that I'm putting out is important too. So as I'm talking about different places that I'm shooting and things of that nature, you know, Baltimore is overwhelmingly my more dominant place, even though I am based in Harford County. So that's another analytic. The age group and age range, right? My top age range is between 25 and 35 for both platforms. To the right, you're now seeing my Google Analytics. And then Google Analytics is also responsive. Now, these are people that are going directly to my website. And if you guys can see, people who are going to my website match up to people who are going to my social media. So that lets me know that, you know, on my website, you're going to see more women than men. You're going to see more people within that really that 25 to 54 age range, because that's where most of my data set tends to fall. And all these are all associated analytics that are readily available and that you can connect with on a regular basis that we underutilize on a regular basis. Questions so far?
No, I have seen a lot of polls on Instagram.
Okay.
I just didn't know it was called the data, but I do see
Yeah.
it a lot.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people would just use it as questions and not necessarily as data. And what I'm trying to encourage you all to begin to think about and look at is using it as the data and data preset, you know, because it's readily available.
And good evening. I know I just joined in, but just wanted to say good evening, not just
Oh,
kind of
good evening.
be sitting here, but yeah,
Good
it's
evening.
good so far. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. All right, so that's how we begin with these data, right? So then you got to start to finding the information on polls, right? So you're going to use polls in order to find that critical information. I would encourage you to look to try to do at least one poll a week, whether it be on your stories or within your posts, because it's a way to engage people. Instagram and social media platforms look for engagement, and by having things that people can click easily and not have to type of comment is another way to re-engage and reinvigorate like your profile. And some ways that you can do is by direct your concerns to your current followers, right? So asking them what things concern them about the buying process, you know, and they have a poll. Is it the financing? Is it the size of the house? Is it the location? Is it the interest rate? And then you create content that speaks to that. So if somebody says interest rate, you know, writing content and saying that interest rate right now is in line with what it was in 2017, 2018, 2019. And what we saw in COVID wasn't really real. And then you provide them with data and information that speaks to that, right? If it's about areas, you know, you write stuff and say like, you know, unless, you know, God comes down from somewhere, like they're not making any extra land. So, you know, the longer that we wait on purchases, uh, you know, there's no new land that is being created. So, you know, inform people from that standpoint, you know, whether it be, you know, can they resell and refinance, things of that nature, and then bring it on a lender, asking a lender to come in and speak to, you know, the probability of refinancing, you know, so there's so many different ways that you can leverage and utilize data and information. You know, use them to engage and create follow up. So create a follow up action for them. You know, create a poll that you can DM people, send them to your stories is another great way. And then you're also training the algorithm how people are engaging with you and how they typically should respond to you as well too. Next slide. All right, using data, CRM data, right? And then we talked about the questions. Like this, these are some of the not necessarily questions, but this is how I would categorize people. Like each one of your clients fits into these categories. And then this is how you can segment people. And then you can also see what is the overwhelming response to people's categories. So age categories, right? And I would do something reflective of what your social media says. It's usually like 18 to 24, 25 to 32, 33 to 40, this mirroring that age set would be where I would focus on for one, too, gender, male and female. While, to be sensitive, there are other genders that are now being recognized nationwide, but as far as social media goes, there are only two. So I would do a subcategory into that, and then a third one maybe being other. Marital status. Are people single? Are they married? That's important because the content you're putting out, who are you talking to? Are you talking to more married people? Are you talking to more single people? So that's important. So you think about graphics, and events, engagement, things of that nature. Type of transaction. Are they a first-time home buyer? Is it new construction? Is it sale? What type of transaction is it is important. So placing people into those subcategories. And then the type of home that they're purchasing. We're purchasing a condo, a townhome, single family home. So you know what to once again show people, right? So if somebody's in a condo, eventually they may stay in a condo, but they also may expand their family. So if they're a condo and single, I might start doing content around family and upsizing. Maybe they go to a townhome, maybe they go to a single family home. So maybe I start peppering in information that speaks directly to them, and not just on my social media profile, but also my email marketing and things of that nature. You can segment in so many different ways. Questions so far?
Mm-mm.
Let's see, Jaleesa joined us. Hello, Jaleesa. So selecting the right questions. So selecting the right questions is important because it allows for you to be able to see how to engage people, right? So there are three subcategories that you guys are going to focus on: topic research, engage research, and focus research. Topic research is finding out what it is that you want to talk about, right? I think that everybody, no matter what industry you're in, should begin to niche down. You should have a focus area: first-time home buyer, new construction, vacation home, family upsizing, family downsizing, whatever it is, and then you become extremely great in that area. And then if you're doing topic research, you're asking questions that pertain to that research area, right? And what questions do you have about real estate? Is it a general thing that you can throw out there, right? And then going specific is what are some things you don't know about this area? What are some things you don't know about refinancing? What are some things you don't know about new construction? What are some things you don't know about rental? So all of these different topics and different ideas are possible. I have friends that have purchased a new home or are afraid of purchasing a new home because they have a home and they're unaware of what their options are, right? So maybe that's a question that you find out. Maybe some people don't realize that you don't have to necessarily sell your home, that you got a 3% interest rate during COVID in order to get into a new home, and you can use that rental income in order to qualify for your new home. So what does that look like? So by creating questions and crafting questions that answer that will then only help grow and develop your business. Engage in research. Like, how are you going to engage people? Like, are you going to ask stuff like, are people more likely to engage in video or text articles or emails or text messages? Like, how are people more likely to engage? So asking polling questions is very important as well too. When is the best time to invite people in the community to a networking event? Some people say or gear stuff based on them when it may not actually be them. If people are, moms and stuff, a first-time homebuyer class may not be good on a Saturday morning because their kids have soccer, their kids have basketball, their kids have baking class or something of that nature. A Wednesday night might be best. So asking your clients on when the best time to engage them is important. And then how do they want to be communicated in? We take for granted that we think that social media posts are the end all be all. I will tell you that my focus and gear on social media posts is really just as a placeholder, right? It's an algorithm. It's not, I'm not banking on, I'm not thinking, I'm not believing that I'm going to get a ton of business off of social media. You're getting it off of social proof and connections. How can you build your network? And I want to make sure that I always drive that home. Like social media is cool, but you're not going to build a multi-million, billion-dollar business off of just social media alone. So you need to think about how you're expanding and creating your network. And then focus. What category resonates most with you? Asking people what category should you niche down in, and then building stuff around that. Don't forget to use these topic areas. So as you're looking to grow and expand, if you're unsure, like Austin, I really don't know, stuff like that, start looking at things within, the home and garden section, or in the business section, or even the food or travel section of Instagram, because that's going to help push your page. So if you're somebody who has 50 followers, 70 followers, using these Instagram topic research under Reels will help grow your platform, because it's going to get your content in front of people that you normally would not be able to get in front of. Does everybody understand how they would use these topics?
No, not really.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm glad you asked. So under home and garden section, right, we're seeing topics in the gardening, landscaping, plant trees, interior design, home furnishings, construction and renovation, urban farming, home and garden hacks, right? So your goal is to create real content, or Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels around this, right? So maybe, Jaleesa is a gardener. So maybe she does a video reel going to Home Depot looking at mulching and plants, and does like a short reel on the top 3 mulches to buy from Home Depot. She goes and says, "Hey, Home Depot, I'm doing a reel for the social media page, blah, blah, blah. Can you show me the best 3 mulching products that you will look at? It's here, here, and here." Perfect. You do a short reel about them, talking about it really briefly. You post it on Instagram. And then when you upload it under Reels, you're going to hit the gardening and landscaping. And what that's going to do is people who resonate with gardening and landscaping is going to put it in their feed under Reels.
Oh, okay. I
Same thing
haven't
with
done a
interior
lot of
design.
reels.
So that's actually one of the future topics, and we'll be talking about it, as well too. So home and interior design, like maybe once a week you find something to focus on interior design, whether it be living room decor, bedroom decor, interior design hacks, how to take something from like a refurbished store and refurbish it to make it something that's worthwhile. You make a little video reel about it. It doesn't have to necessarily just be video content. You can make a reel out of photos, right? But you clicking this button as you hit unload under topics to help move it forward.
Austin, I never knew that.
Oh yeah, and that's how you
And
how you grow your profile.
Yeah, I just did that. Thank you.
No, you're more than welcome. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to hear that. Right. When you're building your audience, you need to think about what is it you want to focus on. Do you want to be a connector, a contributor, or a celebrity? You have to fall into one of these 3 categories: connector, contributor, or celebrity. You will not grow your profile unless you identify with one of these 3 things, right? Once you understand your why and what is it you're focused on, you'll be able to grow. If you're posting just to post and you never identify, you will get frustrated because nothing is happening. But if you identify with one of these topics and all your stuff is around that, then you will be perfectly fine. Resources you need to focus on, once again, is using websites like Answer the Public or ChatGPT or Google Trends. If you're struggling with ideas, I keep going. I literally use those every single night. I'm on, up doing content and stuff like that for clients. So I'm using those every single night. Distributing information, I'm using ManyChats, Constant Contact. I personally use MailChimp and MailerLite to distribute information and content. And then using Google Sheets to track my client data. Every time I get a new client, I'm putting them in the categories on MailerLite, and then also leveraging it on Google Sheets.
So can I ask you a question, Austin?
Yeah, what's up?
So does MailChimp not track your data for you? Like and tell you like how many
It
openings?
depends on. Yes, it does. It does, but it doesn't track the demographic data. So I also want the demographic data, not just your open rate and fail rate data, right?
Mhm.
So, but that's important to be able to see. But as we said, you asked a great question because it's here. The content that you're putting out, and it's not just social media posts, it's newsletters, it's email campaigns, things of that nature. You can track, using these platforms, the open rate, the click rate, where they're going, how long they're staying on these pages. All those things are important as you're looking to grow and develop your content. So just keeping in mind, like as you're building out, to focus on those areas and those things. But that was an
Okay.
excellent question, though. Excellent question. You never stop. No, but no, great question. Other question.
I have another question. So as far as, I just did a newsletter. Would I use MailChimp to send that to my clients?
And you're making a newsletter, you would take your email data and upload it into MailChimp in the subcategories, and then in turn that can be emailed out. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent question. Other question.
Mm-mm.
So in conclusion, I am hopeful that you all are leveraging and utilizing data to help grow your business on a regular basis. Like now that we are about to be in month 3, thinking and finding ways to use data, and I'm always available if you can shoot me an email or a phone call and ways to leverage and connect. But begin to not just do things just to do it, but really do things with an intention of being able to grow and develop. Like it's very, very important. Knowing where you're throwing your money and how you're throwing your money, now more than ever, will be better leverage and better utilized to grow your business. All right. And for those that attended last week, you got the email for the previous recording, correct? With the slide deck?
It was a training last week?
No, not last week. Last month. Sorry, last month.
Oh.
You should have got it
I
last
got
month.
it.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure.
So I'm gonna get this
So,
one
yeah.
because I missed most of
Yeah.
your presentation.
Yeah. Yep. You'll get that in the slide deck. Yep.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry.
No. You're fine. You're fine. But go read through. I would encourage you all to take time, and then I can show you real quick where you all will go. So if you are on Facebook, you're on Facebook, you're going to go to your business page. Professional dashboard, audience. And then this is where you begin to see all your information, right? See more, you can see how people are resonating, mail one, things of that nature. And then you go into the Middle Business Suite to dig in a little bit more. And then you can go into Insights. And then inside of Insights, it's going to tell you and track you and show like how you're doing on stuff, right? And if you're looking at the different plan, like the weekly plan will tell you, it set goals for you, right? So Instagram is going to tell you like what to do. It'll tell you to create stories. It's going to tell you to make posts. It's going to show you how to be more engaged within like a certain month. So if you need a plan, it's all inside of here.
Okay.
Not only a plan, but with like action goals, which is like really cool.
Oh
And
yeah, absolutely.
the way the algorithms and all this is so premeditated in a sense, like, okay, they're saying we're giving you the plan. So if they're giving you the plan, then I'm sure they're gonna want to make sure that you see some form of success outcome with that. So it will broaden the reach, I'm sure. That's really good.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And then you can start doing things such as like the challenges, right? So once you start doing good, you'll start to see different challenges. And that's how you're starting to see people become compensated off of Instagram too. What's the conversation plan? So I have not made it to the point where I'm able to be compensated, but like a business partner at the studio, like he gets like $150 checks a month by doing a certain task. And what's happening is if you're doing a certain task and have a certain reach, they're putting ads in front of your content because they know that people are going to want to watch your content. And then in turn, they're compensating you for it.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. Right. Even more, that's a, extrinsic reward, right? But
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
just for you, at least, to manage your own business, for them to do it. And then you have that as a bonus is great.
Yeah, that's a bonus. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, but can I ask you this other question though, Austin?
Sure.
Have
What's up?
have you found like a system that sends out text messages
Yeah.
that you feel like this? You have?
So, I mean, there are different ones. Like you have like Square Marketing. Square Marketing is a good one. There's some other apps. Like I would also tell you to look at something called like AppSumo. So AppSumo is a website that you can use, and they use third party one time purchase software to do certain things. So like AppSumo is a great resource to use.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna look it up. Okay. I feel like I've learned a lot, even though I was late. These last 15 minutes, I've learned a lot
Okay.
because
Oh,
I'm going to
good.
go
I mean,
into my plan and do it.
and that's the big thing. And the stuff that I'm showing you all and sharing with you all and teaching you all is stuff that nobody else is doing, right? And the goal of Ron and Bill and everybody is to put people in a position to do the things that nobody else is doing, so that you can reap the benefits and rewards. The stuff that I'm sharing is tried and true. Clients who listen to me who do these things see the benefits of it. Like I said, the social media platform is only going to share with you and show you the things that are going to be beneficial, like for you and for your business as well too. So
Yeah.
Well, this is way beyond photography, way beyond what I was expecting.
oh, so yeah, so that's something. I'm not a photographer. I'm a photographer, but I'm not a photographer. I'm an educator. I take pictures because it's fun, but I'll teach for free all that.
Yeah, that's really good, right? Because yeah, don't give me a fish, teach me how to fish. So
I'm gonna teach you. Yep. And that's
that's
the
really,
big thing. So
thank you.
eventually, one of the things, and the reason why we're starting with data now, leading up, not try to talk too far in advance, but one of the months we're going to be talking about doing ads. It is pointless. It's pointless to do an ad if you don't understand how to read the data on the Beyond piece, right? So like just looking at this, the average person would say, "Dang, like there was a big drop off," not realizing that I ran an ad during this time frame that caused my reach to go far beyond. You know what I mean? Like that, I was intentional about what it is that I'm doing. And there are different kind of ads, right? Some people will make the mistake of doing an ad like, "Hey, buy with me." No, that's not a good ad, right? Like there are certain things that you need. Maybe do an introduction video, right? In the intro video, you find a quiet place in your office, use a microphone set. Myself, I walk around with this. You probably can't see it, but it's a microphone pack. I have $50. I got off of Amazon. It comes with 2 microphones. I clip it onto my jacket and just do a short intro video of who you are. Good lighting, clean video, and add it as a staple on your page, and then run an ad around that, whether it be a boosted post. I hate boosted posts, but if you have to do that, a boosted post or a very intentional ad, right? And then you'll start to see the growth of your business platform from there.
That's a great idea to do an intro. I never thought of that.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. But like those are the types of things that you can look at.
Now, Austin, they're both Meta family, right? So it's like asking which child you like most. But where would you say between Instagram and Facebook, as far as if you're doing the same thing on both of them, which one you think yields a little more results?
Neither. It's Google and YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Most of my business, but once again, so here's the big thing, right? I'm very intentional on building relationships. I use social media as social proof. So what you see is what you get, right? Like you'll see the consistency. That's why I use it. I don't use it to book. I use it so that you know when you book with me, you're going to get consistency, right?
Got you.
But I
Okay.
focus my time on building relationships. So it depends upon where you're going to build your relationship at and what platform is what I would recommend. Like if you're on Facebook, you're about building community. How am I focused on building out a community of people that I can nurture? Versus Instagram is more it's like show and short story and short time frame. I'm not necessarily looking to build a community on Instagram. So it depends upon you as an individual. But the big thing I tell people is YouTube. YouTube is my biggest platform I invest most of my time on.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So do you think that we should invest time into like LinkedIn?
Absolutely. But once again, it depends on your network. If you are a professional person, you should invest your time in LinkedIn. If you're somebody who is not super professional and stuff like that, you're going to be like a fish swimming on land because you're not going to know how to operate, right? Like, and that's not a bad thing. Like, I have a business partner and he's a great guy, great individual, but he's not a corporate type of person. Like, that's not who he is. So saying like, oh, I'm investing all this time on LinkedIn and not realizing it's a different language, how they talk, what they want to see, to the point. And it's really, LinkedIn is really a network thing. So if you're not trying to network and legit network, right? Like I'm trying to go to events, I'm trying to handshake, I'm trying to meet people, I'm trying to have 35-minute coffee conversations with people about things that's not going to initially lead to a deal. It's going to lead to a deal 9 months from now. Like if you're not on that, not doing that, then I wouldn't tell you to invest your time on that.
Okay.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
All right. So I'm going to stop this recording. And as always, you guys have my contact information. But this will probably be up by the weekend. And